welcome once again to Retired Your Way with Ben Heiser, powered by Thrive. I'm your host, Spike Spangle. Ben, boy, you look fabulous today. How you doing, man?
Thanks, Spike. You look fabulous as well, sir.
I'm loose and free. I'm without a tie. I feel like I can breathe today.
See?
But because we have to get into so much really important stuff today, we're kicking off with Social Security. Today, folks, as always, we are dedicated to retirement planning strategies for you, and most importantly, solutions, and what you do here at Thrive for folks. Let's start with Social Security. There were some changes made in this Bipartisan Act of 2015. Wow, really exciting. But what were some of the things that seniors have lost with this Social Security Act?
Well, the interesting thing is bipartisan means that both parties voted for the same thing. So there used to be the file suspend and the file restricted that were pretty nice benefits that were allowed folks to get a little bit more optimization out of Social Security if you were going to wait and you were married. Today, a lot of the extra strategies that we could do for people to help them optimize some of the money that they have are no longer available. And so there's just not a lot of options in that anymore. It's more about timing. It's more about the assets that you have outside of it that allows us to add additional strategy.
Then why are people still getting things like those Social Security maximization flyers in the mail?
Well, you know, why do people make up, you know, different names for things that aren't actually what they are? They want to get you in and they'll take a look at that. So again, if you're getting mailers for Social Security optimization, just throw them in the garbage, right? If you're getting for something that's going to take a look at wealth optimization, might be something to take a look at.
Okay. All right. But Social Security, when to take it, how to take it, it is an integral part of what you do at Thrive. And are you a proponent of take it early, take it late, or is it really situational?
Well, see, for me, it's about everything's custom tailored to the individual that we're sitting with. So everyone's got different amounts of savings that they have. They have different retirement age goals. You know, sometimes there's age gaps between a husband and a wife, or a wife and husband. You know, when your spouses, you know, are there, and so maybe it's about, you know, looking at that. Longevity plays a big factor today in the sense of, you know, what does your family tree look like, right? Did everyone pass away in their 70s? Did they make it till they're 100? Where are we at? Because all of those things allow us to optimize Social Security for you. Now, the basic math behind it is, no matter when you take it, okay, you have to break even at about age 82. So if you take it early, or you take it late, or you take it at full retirement age, you still have to live past the age of 82 to win by waiting. And so, but the thing is that a lot of people may not be able to do that. So this, if your Social Security is your only income game, well, then you're going to be stuck kind of trying to take the largest benefit. But if you have other assets, it gives us flexibility. And so what we use is technology. So we have, you know, planning software that allows us to take a look at Social Security. We can run different scenarios for people, and we can figure out waiting, how that impacts, because that means we're drawing down our assets more.
Right. You got to be paying the bills from something, and so I guess that's the choice. Do you take it from your investment accounts? Let's talk about the complexity. Let's just stay with that one right now. Let's say that you do want to let Social Security grow. If you take it from investment accounts in the environment we're in right now, this is what we call sequence of returns risk. Your accounts are down as of this year. So is this a time when you're maybe saying to folks, let's wait on Social Security?
Well, and again, it all depends. And so, you know, for some of you out there, you might be looking at that whole situation, and, you know, Social Security's value is it gives us a steady paycheck. Well, until it goes bankrupt, and then we're going to have to take a look at what those option differences are. This is not to scare you. These are things that have already been announced, and we just need to look at it. For the first time in history, Spike, the generation preceding the one in front of it is smaller, and so the baby boomer generation is larger than, you know, the X and Yers, and so there's a gap, and so there's just a, you know, a need for additional funding. We don't have the demographic to do it. And that's what's created some of the issues that might be coming with Social Security and some of the changes outside of the taxation and some of the options being eliminated. But with that, we want to make sure that you're optimizing your money. Social Security is a piece of an income plan, because in retirement, it's not just about something that covers your fixed expenses that gets you by. And for Social Security and most people, it only covers 40% of their expense needs, because retiring your way is not just fixed expenses. It's fixed expenses plus your lifestyle goals and dreams. So again, it's that kind of paycheck need, and then the playcheck need of the things that you want to do outside of it once you've won the game of life that you can celebrate winning and working and doing the things that you needed to do while you sacrificed. And so we don't want you to compromise that. We don't really go to the market for the income needs that need to be guaranteed because the market fluctuates. Do you want a lifestyle that fluctuates, or do you want a lifestyle that's guaranteed to never be compromised?
Can I ask your personal opinion on this? We keep hearing the rumblings about the Social Security Trust Fund depleting 10, 11, 12 years from now. In part, we were saying that the baby boomer generation, they are retiring. They're drawing more from Social Security right now. We have fewer workers paying into it. Do you, Ben Heiser, think that Social Security is going to be there down the road, let's say 15 or 20 years from now? What do you think about those who aren't retired being able to take Social Security?
Well, I think that the world would probably implode if they stopped it altogether, because the uproar that would happen, I mean, again, when people are relying upon a paycheck there, it's going to be a big deal. They have announced that there's going to be an adjustment that needs to be made. And so I do think that there'll probably be a reduction. I don't think they're going to eliminate it altogether, because I don't think that the government, I think the people would rise up and take over.
Right. But if there's going to be a reduction, even if it's 10 or 12 years, this is something that we need to start planning for today, right now.
Yeah, you don't wait until it's too late. And so we can't do anything about yesterday. You know, one of the biggest concerns that we have with anyone is, can we fix the things that haven't been prepared for, right? We want to give you the information that you deserve to know, so that you can have clear expectations, so that you can optimize your wealth and accomplish those goals and dreams. Not everybody is the same, right? Not every firm is the same. They don't have the team. They haven't proven the test of time. They haven't proven to be trusted. And some of them don't even use the technology. They're just there as someone that holds the assets and doesn't really give any advice. Folks, if there's questions that you have, that's why we're here. That's why we specialize in helping people enter those years of retirement, so that they're enjoying the years and not stressing about running out of money.
Right. And as the founder of Thrive, I can say that also behind your organization, it's not just yourself, right? You've got a team of folks out there helping you.
We got an amazing team, and you can check that out on our website. You can use that QR code that keeps popping up on the screen, and it'll take you to a confidence assessment inside of our space. But we don't want you just to survive in retirement. We want you to thrive in retirement. That, to me, is your paycheck and your paycheck, guaranteed, increasing to help you keep up with taxes and inflation, optimizing that Social Security as part of your wealth. And so not just having a product, folks, but having a plan and then filling it with the right tools to help you accomplish it.
Ben, we've got to take a very short break right now. Folks, stay tuned with us. We're going to talk about Social Security, how it fits into your entire investment strategy throughout your retirement years. And are there fixes? Are there changes that you can make once you've taken Social Security? What are some of the thoughts on that? Call right now and get your own Retirement Readiness Review and Social Security Report. Ben is going to take a look at your investments and your strategy with Social Security together. Call 855-855-7655. More with Ben Heiser right after this.
Call 855-855-7655 to receive your complimentary Retirement Readiness Review and Social Security Maximization Report. Get the most from your Social Security payments. Find the strategy that maximizes your Social Security benefit and preserves the assets you've saved for retirement. Social Security seems easy, right? The question is, should you take it now or later? There are numerous ways to file for Social Security. The decisions you make can also affect how much you pay in taxes. You've paid into Social Security for decades. Now, get the most out of your Social Security benefit. Call Ben and his team at 855-855-7655 for your complimentary Retirement Readiness Review and Social Security Maximization Report. Now you need to build that into a retirement income plan with all your assets. Call Ben and his team now at 855-855-7655 to receive your complimentary Retirement Readiness Review and Social Security Maximization Report, or use the QR code on the screen to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Ben Heiser. I'm your host, Spike Spangle. Ben, we were talking about Social Security, and on the break, you were reminding me, but I thought there was one way that we could possibly redo Social Security. But you're saying once we take our Social Security, that decision's locked in.
Well, I mean, Social Security is an annuity. It's a traditional type of an annuity that once it's paid in, it's called annuitization, and it starts to pay you a paycheck for the rest of your life. But what it doesn't do is give you flexibility to get back at the cash. And so it's kind of like a traditional pension. Now, I guess there is technically one loophole, if you will. If you're within the first year of your Social Security, if you want to pay back all the benefits and then take a different strategy, I guess you could do that, but that might not be realistic.
That could be money spent and water under the bridge at that point.
So it's super critical to understand when to take Social Security, but we don't look at Social Security by itself as a product, and that's why a lot of people get it wrong on how to optimize its benefit, because what ends up happening is they are trying to look at Social Security as a product on its own. And that product is something they're trying to figure out, but really you have to look at it as in your entire wealth plan situation on where to fit it in to optimize the overall picture that you've saved.
Okay. So if you don't mind, who would be ideal here in our broadcasting area to give you a call? I mean, is it somebody who is just on Social Security right now?
No, if all you have is Social Security coming in, there's nothing that we can really do from a strategy perspective to help you optimize additional wealth. You just take it when you get the biggest paycheck, and you might have to work a little bit longer. If you have assets outside of Social Security and wealth outside of that and outside of your home, then this would be a really good opportunity, because we can plug those things in using our technology and our trusted team, and we can start digging into some of the details and run different scenarios. And that's what we do in the background that a lot of people don't see, because there's a lot of complexity here. And so whether to take it early, take it late, and there's all kinds of different things. So we have to understand what those lifestyle goals and dreams look like. For an example, if you take Social Security early, but yet you want to go back to work, you're just like a pretend retirement person, right? Then you could end up really impacting the value of that Social Security long term, because they're going to reduce the benefit, a dollar for every $2 above like 15 grand, and it ends up putting you in a situation where you've locked in the lowest payment forever, and now you're impacting yourself even more. And so these are conversations that we have to have, and that's why we focus on your dream first, your lifestyle dream. What does that look like? Do you want to travel, right? Do you want to build a muscle car? Are you, what is the point of retirement for you when every day is a Saturday? What do you want to do at that time? We have to know what it is. We want to know what it is, who you want to spend time with, and then what we can do is start building a plan around that, where the need that you have for cash flow is never compromised, so you're not stressed about running out of money. And then we can optimize the growth inside of a portfolio. But then all of these things come together as we start to understand what is it that your need is for fixed expenses, and then what is it the extra that you need when every day is a Saturday to accomplish those lifestyle dreams.
You hit on something that I think is a shock to some folks out there. There are lots of different polls that I've read through.
Yeah.
Most folks think that Social Security is not taxed. And what you were just talking about there is that for those who like to continue to work, there is this thing called provisional income. Yeah. Let's not go too deep into the weeds, but what exactly is provisional income? What does that mean?
Anything that you're taking that's coming to you.
So if you're taking your Social Security, they have to take into account that, and then your Social Security can be taxed.
Yeah, if you have a pension, if you're taking retirement distributions or money from the retirement plans that you've saved, like your 401ks or IRAs, so they add all these things together, and depending on if you're single filer or a joint filer, there's different bands. We can talk about that when you give us a call. But the reality is that those bands, the more that you make, you're taxed all the way up to 85% of your Social Security benefit. And so these are things that we look at. We need to look at how your money is impacted in retirement by taxation and how your Social Security is impacted. It used to be, in the good old days, we got our Social Security tax-free. We got a pension that was guaranteed as well, and we got those guaranteed sources of income, so our paycheck and paycheck were taken care of, and we got to retire the way that we wanted and enjoy it, and then the extra savings that we had, we could just sit and structure it for growth or legacy or whatever, and today is way different.
Yeah, we don't have that pension plan. We don't get that sheet cake and that Timex watch Friday afternoon, and good luck in your retirement. The retirement strategies are on us, and that's why it's so important why we're talking so much today about Social Security. And one of the reasons we want to make sure that you're getting it right for yourself is you're oftentimes not just making a decision for yourself.
Yeah.
Your Social Security decision is also impacting your spouse, for those of you who have a spouse as well.
Absolutely. So sometimes if you have a gap, like my wife and I have 5 years between us, you know, my Social Security benefit's going to be larger than hers. So I need to take that into account because she's going to live longer than me. I promise that, right? And so the reality is she's going to live longer. We want to make sure that that benefit is maximized for both of us. And so, folks, these are questions that we address when you give us a call. And we're happy to help you. But the reality is the best people to call are folks that have assets outside of that so that we can add strategy around it, and then we can take a look at it. So we're not giving you an opinion. We're actually looking at the data together, and so we can actually do something with you to help you optimize your wealth.
Right. Are you talking to, let's just say for a little bit of our younger audience, are you talking to them about possibly saving more, building up their nest egg more, and considering not having as much of their percentage of their costs being covered by Social Security down the road?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we know that, like, you know, we have those pension annuities and Social Security's annuity. There are specifically structured annuities today that can give us the retirement of the past and the guarantees. So sometimes today you can get bonuses, 20 to 30% to an income account, allow you to take a guaranteed and increasing paycheck for the rest of your life. And if you pass away, the lump sum is still left behind. So we can actually have a better retirement than they did in the past today by using the correct asset class. And so that's why we're independent, Spike. So we're not told what we can do and can't do for somebody. We take a look at your goals and dreams. We custom tailor the solution to you. And so if we need to use this, we can. For some of you, it's great. And for some of you, it's not. And so I don't know, without looking at the whole picture, how to make those pieces fit together. But that's what we do. We specialize for folks that are 10 years away from retirement or less, already retired, so that you can eliminate the number one fear in America today, which is running out of money. If you would find value in that, when you give us a call, we can sit down and help you eliminate that.
Right. And we also got that QR code on the bottom of the screen. We'll explain that in a second. But as we talk about spouses, one of the tough things to have people unfortunately realize is that when that spouse passes away, one of those Social Security checks is going to go away. So you get to keep the higher of the two. But as we look at income needs, you know, a lot of times a couple will say, oh, well, this is how much we take in Social Security and this is what we've got in assets, but they're not taking into account that reduction.
There's even another thing. So it's not even just that one of your Social Security gets eliminated. You're now a single tax filer. And so what happens is typically your spouse is going to go into a higher tax bracket on their own with the income that's being generated. And the need for income is not any different typically, other than maybe the hobbies that the spouse that passed away had. And so it's very, very little reduction in an income need because there's still the same fixed expenses that we had prior to that spouse passing away, but now we've eliminated one source of income. So do we have solutions that are there to protect the ones that we love, that gives them a guaranteed income when we pass away? The answer is yes, but you have to be working with somebody that's open to the idea of using the appropriate tool. And I don't know how someone can do what's in your best interest if they don't have access to all of the asset classes. So we're not biased in one way or the other, but there are different asset classes, we call them buckets of money, that are appropriate for growth, emergency, and income.
Speaking of tools, what exactly is that QR code on the bottom?
The QR code is a fantastic resource for you. If you take your phone out, put it on the camera, it'll take you to a website that allows you to take a confidence assessment, a readiness assessment of, do you know the information necessary to step into those retirement years without compromise? You can also click to schedule an appointment directly with myself or one of our team members that are here to help you thrive in retirement. Folks, please do not survive, thrive in retirement.
We're going to take a very short break. Folks, we are offering the Retirement Readiness Review and a risk report. What is at risk of making you run out of money in retirement? Give Ben a call here so they can help identify that for you. So when you leave that meeting with Ben, you're going to know exactly what you need to do so you can be and stay retirement ready. Call the phone number you see right here or use the QR code. You can go ahead and take that little quiz, and down at the bottom you can schedule your very own appointment. More with Ben Heiser right after this.
Call 855-855-7655 for your own complimentary retirement readiness review and risk report. Why take unnecessary risk when you don't have to? At 65 years old, would you drive to the grocery store at 100 miles per hour if 40 miles per hour would get you there safely? When nearing retirement, are you still driving your investment accounts like you're in your 30s or 40s? Have you changed your investment election since you first chose them in your retirement accounts at work? Call Ben and his team at 855-855-7655 for your own complimentary retirement readiness review and risk report. Do you know exactly how much risk you are taking in your investment accounts? Now that you've accumulated a nest egg for retirement, you want to be certain the risk you're taking in those investments matches your goals and objectives. Call Ben and his team now at 855-855-7655 for your own complimentary retirement readiness review and risk report, or use the QR code below to begin scheduling your appointment. You may not have time to recover from taking too much risk.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Ben Heiser. I'm your host, Spike Spangle, and we've been discussing today's Social Security, and we know that once you take it, there's really not much you can do. You're pretty much locked in, one little solution, but pretty much you're locked into it. You're locking it in for your spouse as well. When one of you passes away, all you're going to receive is the higher amount. So it sounds like there can be a lot of income gaps. How exactly do you at Thrive, how do you help put together an income strategy so people aren't just flying blindly into retirement?
Well, this is extremely critical because, and I'll just give you an example. We recently just met with somebody, and they've been customers of ours for years, and they came back, and now they wanted to take a look at a full plan, right? So they had some of their assets with us, but they had a lot of complexity risk inside of that. So the spouse was feeling uneasy, and they thought that they were spending less money, and this is pretty common. And so the first thing that we have to identify is what is truly our spend on a month in and month out basis when it takes into account our fixed expenses and then the lifestyle goals and stuff that we're doing, which is stuff like our hobbies and our travel goals. And the other things that we do for entertainment, like going out to eat and plays and concerts. And so when you add those things together, we spend money. And so we have to look at that. So we know that that's retiring your way. We want you to enjoy that. But what they were doing on their own, which is what a lot of people do on their own, we're guessing, we're taking in an opinion of what it is that we think is going to work better versus knowing. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather be proactive and know, or would you rather be guessing, use an opinion, and then react? I know I make worse decisions when I'm reacting versus having been proactive to that. That's the difference between doing something on your own and working with, an advisor and a coach and a professional that does this every day, all day long. So we have some of the tools necessary to help you do that. So some of our technology is pretty fantastic. So we sat down with these guys. We found out that they were spending a lot more, which made uncomfortable. And the way that they have their assets currently structured, they would run out of money. And nobody wants to run out of money. That's the number one fear in America today. And so not only were we able to eliminate the complexity risk of all their money in different places and getting a whole bunch of different confusing advice from a bunch of different people, we were also able to take and eliminate the fear. But back to your point, Social Security is going to go away. He's 10 or 15, he's like over 10 years older than his spouse. So
So one of the Social Security checks is going to go away.
Also had a military pension. And so when we look at that, some of the military pensions are going away.
Yeah.
The Social Security is going to go away. But what we were able to do is create some of the assets in the right asset class to be prepared and ready to bridge that gap so that when he passes away, she is taken care of for the rest of her life, and it increases and helps her. If they both continue to live forever and die at the exact same time, the assets are there and they'll pass to the family efficiently and effectively. And so that's the difference between running out of money because of an opinion and having a plan that allows us to be proactive some of these things.
Now, is the plan put together just by what you think is in their best interest, or is it collaborative? Because I could probably assume that even between spouses, we have different ideas. I'll put it to you this way. You have 4 kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do they always agree on what we're going to have for dinner and what movie we want to go see and what we're going to do together over the weekend? No, you got different opinions. So when it comes to planning for retirement, is it hard sometimes to get spouses on the same page together?
It is, and also because a lot of times one person is in charge of finances and the other isn't. And so part of my job, it's also, I get to be a marriage counselor sometimes. But the thing is that we need to understand both people's goals. And then there's a compromise that happens there But really, it's about, do you want to optimize the money that you have, or are you okay with potentially having to compromise what it is that you want to do? And the people that would be absolutely wrong for us are people that are willing to compromise. They're okay with just shrinking up and surviving because a spouse made a wrong decision, or the financial professional did it for them and used his or her opinion to pick it for them. We do this collaboratively with you. This is tailored to you. You will understand the pros and cons. Our job is to understand the molecular structure, but we're going to come into agreement on what it is for your fixed expenses, the lifestyle goals that both you and your spouse have, so that you can retire your way and enjoy it, so that you're not stressed, you don't get depressed, because a lot of people don't have goals and dreams and aspirations of what they do after retirement, and then they end up depressed. We don't want that. Our job is to stress and worry about your money and make sure it's in the appropriate places in the buckets to make sure you're never compromising something. Your job is to go enjoy retirement once you've won that game of life. If that's the relationship you want, you're in full control. You're in the driver's seat. We're going to do this on your side of the table, all right? We're not going to do it for you. We do it with you.
We have a lot of the commercials, and we keep talking about the Retirement Readiness Review. But from your words right now, can you tell me exactly what will you review for folks who call into the phone number?
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at that situation, we're going to take a look at the growth and the risk that you have in a portfolio. We're going to take a look at the proper balance of the colors of money for growth, income, and emergency, and are we appropriately placed for that to optimize your money? We're going to take a look at taxation and inflation and how that impacts your world and your wealth and your lifestyle goals and dreams. We're going to take a look at healthcare expenses and Medicare. We're going to take a look at legacy. So when there's money left for someone else, it's not a burden to them, and they don't accidentally disrespect the time, energy, and talent that you put in to saving it. So we don't want these things to be a burden. We want them to be a proactive plan. So folks, the plan helps us dictate the product and service necessary to help you accomplish it, versus having a bunch of products that adds complexity risk and allows you to feel uncertain. So if you don't feel certain about that, those are the things that we unpack in the Retirement Readiness Review to see if there's hazards that are coming in a way. We don't want you to survive. We want you to thrive in retirement.
Thank you so much for today's program, as we're talking about Social Security solutions and how it fits into your retirement plan strategy. As Ben said, call for your own Retirement Readiness Review, or you can use the QR code, schedule your own appointment by using your phone, or call this number, 855-855-7655. Thank you for watching Retire Your Way with Ben 𝙍𝙬. We'll be back next week.